Here, I'd like you to consider a system of rolling stock. In Japan, we have 5 alert levels and local governments issue evacuation information to residents. This is a method to allow you to determine the steps of an evacuation by back calculation. Hello, everyone. My name is Yusuke Toyoda. I am an associate professor at the College of Policy Science at Ritsumeikan University in Japan. I also have a position at the Environmental Research Institute of Chulalongkorn University. Today, I'd like to discuss flood preparation in Japan. I hope you will find some hints in this presentation to help you protect yourself and your family. Regarding individual preparing for flood, I would like to highlight 3 items. First, it is important to identify the locations of evacuation shelters. Without a destination for our evacuation, we cannot safely evacuate from a flood. Second, it is likewise necessary to check safe evacuation routes. Here, safety is the most important. In the case of raining, it is not a good idea to pass an area with low elevation. Another important point, several evacuation routes should be set. In this way, even if you cannot use the first route, you can immediately pass over to the second one. Third, it should go without saying that food, medicine, and so on must be prepared in advance. Those of you with infants should not forget their diapers and other necessary things. However, it is not easy to prepare and maintain stores only for emergency use. Even once they are prepared, for example, food stores may expire, and you will need to dispose of them. Here, I'd like you to consider a system of rolling stock. This is a means of storing emergency food and drink. First, it is necessary to prepare food and drink that will keep for a long time and that you can incorporate into your regular diet. For instance, you can acquire enough food for 3 days that would include water, instant noodles, and canned products. This will be your stores, but you can incorporate it into your normal eating habits on normal days. Then, if you eat 1 day's worth of food, you can buy and store a 1 day's replacement amount of food. This allows you to maintain stores of 3 days of food. While doing this, if you make sure to eat the older food first and add new food to replace it, you can make sure that the food is always new, preventing having to dispose of the expired food. This is a system of rolling stock. Please try it. Now, I will present the Japanese evacuation process to you. The systems in use in Japan are different from those used in Thailand, but the process itself is useful anywhere. In Japan, we have 5 alert levels and local governments issue evacuation information to residents. Please note the last row, actions to take. At the first alert level, we seek further information on the given disaster, such as the level of river water for flooding. To do this, we must investigate means of obtaining information. If you do not know how to do this, please check on this now or after watching this video. At the second level, we check our evacuation procedure, such as what stock we have, where to evacuate, by which routes, and so on. When the third level is reached, if you care for an elderly person or someone who needs support, or if you yourself feel in danger, you should begin to evacuate toward the shelter. At the fourth level, everyone is required to evacuate to evacuation shelters. Finally, the fifth level means that the disaster has already occurred or is about to occur. At this stage, you must prioritize saving yourself. If you have not yet evacuated to the shelter, you should find higher ground, such as to the upper floors of your house. This constitutes the evacuation procedures. These procedures can be applied to Thailand. From these preparations and evacuation processes, we can make an evacuation plan. I'd like to introduce you to the program, My Timeline. This is a method to allow you to determine the steps of an evacuation by back calculation. By this means, we consider when we need to complete the evacuation. We also check how long it takes to complete an evacuation. If it takes 30 minutes, then you need to leave your house 30 minutes before the time that you want to arrive at the shelter. If you want to know how long it takes to arrive, you need to participate in a disaster drill or go by yourself from your house to the shelter. If you have an elderly family member or small children, you must allow more time than others might. Then before evacuation, you need to prepare for evacuation. This preparation will vary depending on how you do it. Assessing this must be done in advance. To make your evacuation decision, you need to first identify the information you need to check. This may be information from your government and your community and the level of river water. Finally, to make this process smoother, you need to consider what you need to prepare in advance. This is an example of a plan that combines all of the information that I gathered. The upper side of the table regards disaster-related information provided by governments. The lower side refers to what is needed at each stage. Let's review this, beginning from the right side of the table, which indicates the occurrence of a disaster. Your evacuation must be completed before that time. Thus, you need to start evacuation 30 minutes before arrival. When you evacuate, it is important to call other families nearby and evacuate together. It may take 60 minutes to prepare yourself for evacuation. In this example, you need to begin your preparations at least 90 minutes before you hope to arrive at a safe place. By making this table, you can make your own evacuation plan. Of course, you need to check if the plan makes sense by using drills. If it does not work well, you can revise the table. Continuous drills and revisions can save you and your family. Here are two references in Thai that you can check. I hope that this content provides you with some hints to allow you to better prepare for flooding in Thailand. Thank you very much for listening.